The Zetan invasion is happening on March 2022, and they are not only coming through the Invaders from Beyond event, there's actually more into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. In this guide I will talk about the new alien random encounters part of update 33, and I will also show you how to find some of them, which are already live for testing on the PTS. That's right. Anyhow, Bethesda has been working hard on the Zetan invasion, so even though we are getting no new missions for the time being, we are surely getting plenty of alien content, such as the new seasonal event, filled with new rewards, including new weapons, and let's not forget about Dome 8 and all the secrets inside, which I have explored recently in another guide. To boost the immersion, there are now over a dozen of new random encounters to explore. That's exactly what this video is about, so expect lots of spoilers ahead. Well then, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, there's over a dozen of new random encounters on the way, but I'm afraid not all of them will make it. How comes? Well, let me explain. These alien encounters have been part of the game files for several months already. They were initially discovered on October 2021, when the Flatwoods patch was still being tested. But they were never enabled until last week's PTS patch on January 21. However, not all of these new encounters were enabled, sadly. I data mined the full list featuring 14 encounters in total, and then I organized the data to make things easier to understand with the titles, the type of encounter, and so on. Despite the long list, only 6 are currently live for testing, 2 seen, and 1 assault, camp, object, and travel respectively. I highlighted the active encounters in green, as you can see. All the others are still in the limbo and cannot spawn in-game yet. Now, if you are wondering how do I know that only 6 are active, well, that's because I spent hours and hours testing them, and they kept spawning over and over, always the same ones, while the rest never spawn at all. Data miners have also stated that some encounters are not live yet, and a few got cut as well. So it's likely that not all 14 new encounters will get released with the upcoming updates. Anyway, let me show you what's coming though, and how can you find them now on the PTS servers or later on when they go live on the official servers with update 33 and beyond. Let's start with the popular one, the Man in Black, also known as the Emissary, which is an encounter linked to Dome 8. It's all connected. Let's do this. Man in Black is a very interesting new encounter because it introduces this mysterious faction to 76. Who are they exactly, we don't know yet, but their presence here is linked to the Zetans. That's for sure. If you wish to learn more about the Emissary and the Man in Black, then you should first visit Scene Encounter Spawns. Here's the map in case you want to give it a try. Note that this is not live yet with update 32. It's coming with the Invaders from Beyond or update 33. Now, once you spot one, stand close and listen to the comments. It's very insightful. The Emissary often talks to his assistant Carol, and all his statements are either related to the aliens or to space topics. I still don't know what Zetanium or what his Epsilon protocol is all about though. Anyway, he eventually lets one slip, which can give you a pretty good idea of what will happen if you directly approach him. Intel acquisition and negation, huh? Yeah, that's exactly what he does though. Here's some proof. If you talk to him, he will start saying a lot of strange things. He won't let you answer either, and then poof, magic, he wipes your memory and disappears into thin air. What a rude person, I would say. Or maybe, just maybe, he can see the future and he knows you would kill him otherwise, so he just decides to vanish. Why would you kill him though? Well, he holds the mysterious key which unlocks the now reworked Dome 8. So you really want to kill this guy if you wish to access the secrets inside this location. There is no other way around as far as I know, besides glitching of course. However, the Emissary doesn't always drop this key. There's only a 50% chance for that to happen, so you might have to find him a couple of times before you can retrieve the key from his body. Once you do, you can freely explore Dome 8 and understand more about what's going on there. I already covered the matter in full detail, so feel free to check it out if you want. The link is right in your screen. Lastly, the Emissary is not hostile at all. Even when you attack him first, he will never fight back. He also gets crippled very easily, probably because he doesn't wear any armor. The poor thing. Why would such a secret organization be so defenseless? That's really weird, don't you think? Either way, that's the first new scene encounter. Now let's move on to the second scene one. Aliens are coming to Appalachia and players won't be able to see them just when the Invaders from Beyond event is active. Bethesda is also releasing a bunch of new encounters featuring alien groups, such as the scene one called Zetan Sandbox scene. Very explicit, I know. When such encounters spawns, you will face a small group of aliens. In my experience, there are mainly two group types, one composed by 3 normal aliens, one of each color, blue, green and red, as well as a drone. Then you have a more diverse group with a drone, an alien invader, and a few normal aliens as well. Needless to say that all of them are very hostile, so watch out when you spot such groups. Moreover, Bethesda has recently boosted aliens, so they are stronger now than what they used to be at the start of the public test for Update 33. I mean, they are not super strong out of this world level, but they can put up a small challenge for certain builds. Lastly, this encounter can spawn in all regions of the map. Okay, the next on the list is the new travel encounter featuring the Flatwoods monster. At first glance, this encounter might sound quite dull, but hold your horses. It surely comes to prove a point though. The Flatwoods monster has always been the boss, all along. He is the top tier Zetan at the highest rank, the master of them all. Just look at that. When this travel encounter spawns, it features a Flatwoods monster and a small group of aliens, normally one of each type. One drone, one invader, and one normal alien. And guess what? They all get mind controlled by the mighty Flatwoods monster. They glow pink, and they follow him around in a straight line like puppets. No wonder the encounter is called Patrol, huh? It's pretty funny sometimes. The NPCs bug and moonwalk or rush really quickly to catch up with their mighty lord. They have to get there in time. Anyway, the con of this encounter is that the NPCs can walk quite far from the original spawn points, which can sometimes make it tricky to find them. They wander off and walk around, all around the place. So I guess you guys will most likely spot this encounter at random places every now and then, not because they spawned there, but because they ended up there while patrolling. I hope that makes sense. The aliens in this encounter are also very hostile, so keep that in mind. Well then, let's keep moving. There is only one object encounter live right now, but it's rather a peculiar one because, believe it or not, it features a true enigma for the Zetans. This new encounter is called Zetans Inspecting Corpse, and at first I thought they would inspect different Appalachian creatures, but it's not the case. They only inspect one single corpse type, Brahmins. Yes, the wasteland cows seem to be the ultimate mystery to these aliens. They just can't figure it out. Trust me, I keep finding them over and over again. Anyway, this encounter always features a diverse group with different types of aliens. The Zetans just walk around the corpse. Sometimes they even stop close by, as if they were thinking, how did a cow end up with 2 heads? How does that even work? It must be a very complex gene mutation. We have to collect as many samples as we possibly can. Get to work, boys. Get it done. I don't know, must be something alike though. It's the vibes I get from it. If you are wondering what can you get from the cow, well, not much. I checked it several times and it always spawned the same exact things. Toys, mentats, and a baton. Now, that's some weird stuff to find inside the body of a cow, but hey, who am I to judge, right? And before the aliens are using it as storage or something. Okay, I don't want to know. Let's keep going. The next new active encounter is a camp one called Zetan Ambushed Camp. It's a very literal name, it's also a very buggy one, as you probably noticed already. Anyway, I think this encounter is supposed to spawn the alien group plus some other enemies. You know, the ones actually ambushing the camp, but right now that's not what we get. Once spawned, this encounter will put the aliens in place like they are lost in time and space. Also, at their feet, they get these green ash piles with loot, as if the Zetans had already killed their enemies and were proudly standing on top of their achievements. Eventually, if you are not in stealth, they will react to your presence and attack you, so watch out for that. Now, there's some sort of Easter egg for this encounter. One of the ash piles will always hold a scrawled note. If you inspect it, you will notice a very strange message saying, "I know what I saw, a Brahmin pulled into a light in the sky." Well, that sounds about right. As we previously saw, Zetans are really interested in Brahmins, so that definitely explains why would they pull them into their ships with this light in the sky. My goodness, the abuse on these poor cows is real. We have to fight back to avenge all the lost Brahmins in Appalachia. I think this would be a great cause for any Green Party members left in the wasteland, to be honest with you. Okay, we'll stop now. Let's move to the last encounter. Bethesda also enabled a new type of assault encounter called Zetans versus Appalachia. For this one, you can always find a group of Zetans fighting a random group of enemies. So far I found mostly creatures or scorched, but I suspect it can spawn any type of enemy we have already, really. It's hard to tell. Either way, I just want to mention that the Zetans seem to have some defensive flaws against most wasteland creatures, because they lose almost every single time. It's pretty pathetic. Just look at that. They lose versus bloatflies or even mole rats. Here we are in fear of the Zetan invasion when they get destroyed by bloody rats. Okay. Needless to say that they also lose versus stronger opponents like Marlooks or even Scorched. Actually, on my end, the only enemy they were victorious against were roaches. If that's not plain sad, I don't know what is. I guess something is not working so well with the Zetans. Even with the latest Zetan boosts, I would understand that they lose versus Scorched, but versus rats and flies, yeah, that's stretching the line. Well, if nothing changes, I guess the Zetans will return to where they came from really quickly. This land is far too dangerous and deadly for them. Hey, that's not opinion, it's scientific data, proven facts. Lastly, I found out that sometimes the Zetans get bugged and never fight back, as shown here, versus this ghoul, so maybe this could be the source of the unbalanced outcomes out of the Zetan wars. I hope it is. If that's the case, then the fix won't be very complicated. If not, then I guess we will have lots of buggy Zetans roaming in Appalachia. These are the 6 new alien encounters live right now on the PTS, so expect them to get released with Update 33 as well. Will there be more though? It's too early to say. I want to say yes, but I'm not so sure, especially since these 14 new encounters have been part of the game files for over 4 months now. If things go well, then I suppose Bethesda will enable the rest in the weeks to come, so players can test them out just like we are doing right now. If not, then they will either become cut content or they will get released later in 2022. Now, while testing, I noticed that with the exception of scene encounters, only the first new encounter assigned to the respective categories are spawning, which might indicate something is bugged and or not working as intended in the game files. Here's an example to make things more clear. I identified the new random encounter nodes. Then for travel, for example, only the first encounter on the list is actually spawning in-game, the rest do not spawn. It's the exact same for camp and object encounters. Even scene is only spawning 2 out of 3 encounters. It's like something is only allowing the first entries to spawn, Or it could be reversed. It's like something is blocking the rest from spawning. So it's either one thing or the other in my view. With so much dot in the air, it's definitely too early to assume the rest will or won't get released soon. There's simply no way to know at the time being. So let's stick to the facts we have right now, which is 6 new encounters, and that's it. That's what you should expect for the time being. Anyway, if Bethesda enables the remaining 8 encounters in the following weeks, I will make another video with an updated coverage, so stay tuned. Invaders from Beyond, or Update 33, is nowhere from being an extensive patch. After all, we are not even getting a single new mission, and the lore on the upcoming Zetan invasion is rather short. It's not like a new event, a few random encounters and a complex Easter egg can replace the immersion, intensity and experience of a new questline. But on the other hand, something is always better than nothing, in my opinion. I guess the event alone would be much worse than the event plus several random encounters as we are getting. The not so good side is that such encounters, as their name says, are random and difficult to find for most players, which means many won't get to experience any of this new content, even if they are actively trying to experiencing it. It's all about luck, timing, and knowledge when it comes to finding such random encounters. So yeah, missions would definitely have been a better choice in every single aspect, but it is what it is. They are much more difficult to make too, so I guess that's why Bethesda went for the encounters instead. Lastly, let's hope the remaining encounters will provide way more excitement, because these ones are a bit on the boring side. It's mostly Zetan groups spawning around the map, and that's about it. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I am Marta Branco, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, feel free to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. As per usual, a huge shout out to all my dear supporters, you guys are the best. As for me, I will catch you all later. Until then, take care, adios, bye bye!